There's a strange irony in life. The people who chase money rarely find peace, and the ones who find peace often attract wealth. The Stoics understood this paradox long before modern psychology gave it a name. They knew that the true path to abundance was not through greed or ambition, but through mastery, not of markets, but of the self. To the Stoics, wealth was never measured in gold, but in freedom. And freedom began when desire ended. In this reflection, we'll explore how thinkers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius became rich, not by chasing, but by stillness, by mastering a kind of power no one could steal, the power of self-possession. Lesson 1. Master the self before you master the world. The Stoics believed that every fortune begins within. Epictetus, born a slave, taught that no man is truly poor who governs his mind, because the man who conquers himself cannot be conquered by circumstance. Wealth, in this sense, was never a matter of possession, it was discipline. Control your reactions and you control your destiny. He who rules his emotions becomes immune to manipulation, temptation, and fear. The modern world teaches that success is external, status, comfort, applause. But the Stoic understood, if your happiness depends on what you can lose, then you were never free to begin with. Lesson 2. Desire is debt. Seneca wrote that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. Desire is a kind of spiritual debt. The more you want, the more you owe to the world. Each craving, each comparison, each envy is a silent contract with unhappiness. You say, I will not rest until I have this. And in that moment, you forfeit peace. The Stoics' wealth came from breaking those contracts. They owned less, but lived more. Their contentment was their currency, and no economy could devalue it. Lesson 3. Practice poverty to defeat fear. Seneca, one of the richest men of Rome, spent several days each month living as if he were poor. He would eat coarse bread, sleep on the floor, and wear rough clothes. He asked himself, is this what I feared? This wasn't madness, it was freedom. By embracing discomfort, he robbed fear of its power. He trained his mind to know that security doesn't come from wealth, but from resilience. Wealth built on fear will always collapse, but a man who can endure loss without breaking has a fortune no one can steal. Lesson 4. Wealth is a tool, not a throne. The Stoics never condemned money. They condemned dependence on it. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor, yet he wrote in his private journal that money cannot buy peace or dignity or wisdom. He saw wealth as a tool for service, not self-indulgence. To the Stoic, money is like fire, useful when controlled, destructive when worshipped. It can illuminate or consume. Use it, but never let it use you. Because the man who serves money becomes its servant, but the man who sees money as a means to virtue, to freedom, to learning, to generosity, becomes its master. Lesson 5. Live beneath your means to rise above them. The Stoics admired simplicity. They ate modestly, dressed plainly, and spoke sparingly, not out of shame, but strength. They knew that excess weakens the mind, that comfort dulls ambition, and that those who depend on luxury soon become slaves to it. Seneca warned that luxury arrives as a guest, stays as a companion, and becomes a master. The Stoic chooses poverty in spirit to remain rich in clarity. He lives below his means, so his soul can live above them. Lesson 6. Invest in wisdom, not possessions. Epictetus said, "An ignorant man seeks wealth in others. A wise man seeks it in himself." True Stoic wealth was intellectual. They invested in philosophy, not fortune. The richest man in the world is poor if his thoughts are chaotic. But even a beggar becomes a king if his mind is disciplined and at peace. The Stoics believed that education, real education, not just knowledge, was the most stable currency in existence. Empires collapse. Markets fall. But wisdom compounds. Lesson 7. The richest life is the simplest. The Stoics ended where all great philosophies do: simplicity. When you stop running, you begin to see. When you stop craving, you begin to feel. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. And that little," he said, "rise within yourself." This is the final paradox. Those who chase wealth become owned by it. Those who master simplicity attract it naturally. Because clarity creates energy, and energy, when directed, creates value. The Stoics didn't run from wealth, they outgrew it. They learned that the greatest luxury is peace, that the most precious possession is self-control, and that the highest form of success is inner stillness. So the next time you feel behind, remember, you don't need more to be more. You only need to need less. Because when the noise fades and all the false ambitions collapse, the quiet mind will always be the richest man in the room.